deal breaker right here.
This gonna be the deal breaker right here, y'all.
Might just switch over to Croc. Might just say, fuck it, let's wait for it.
Hey, y'all, what y'all think, man? The black Croc, man, or the satin black, man? I ain't gonna lie, man. I've been looking online, man, at all the satin black sixes, man. All the satin black sixes I've been looking at, man. And I've been telling myself, I said, you know what, man? Before I sell it up, before I get my Camaro, I ain't gonna get a Camaro, my Corvette. That's what I've been telling myself. I wanna wrap this satin black. Just to see, you know what I'm saying? Because I like it, man. It's a fun car. I like to drive it, man. It's a fun car to drive, man. But, you know, Caesar, unlike Caesar, everybody can't afford a Lamborghini. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't afford the Lamborghini like Caesar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just gotta do the right steps.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
You just gotta be willing to take the sacrifices.
That's right, man.
You can. Everybody can get one.
That's right. So how long did it take you to branch off and do your own thing, Caesar?
Almost 10 years.
Wow.
10 years. To do it right, you gotta invest your time. You know, you really gotta pay the piper when it comes down to it, because nobody's born learning how to do this. You know, a lot of people think, oh, it's simple. It's like slapping on a sticker.
Yeah. And it don't work like that.
It don't work like that. You know, if only everything was as easy as they make it seem, you know? Then yeah, absolutely. Everybody would
be doing it,
everybody would be doing it. So, but it takes time, dedication. You really gotta love it.
Yeah.
I tell a lot of the young cats that are trying to get into the industry is you gotta learn to love this job or it'll eat you up, spit you out. No remorse. You know, it's a work of art. The best way I could describe it is it's a tailor-made suit to every individual car that you touch. Because there's no car, no matter how many times they tell you the manufacturer builds them by machine, every vehicle is 100% different one from the next. They're all individuals, and every single one will give you a different problem. You won't find the same problem back to back, even if you do 2 6 series or you do 50 6 series, each one's going to give you a different issue, because even at the factory they have tolerances. This one might be a little bit closer, that one might be a little bit looser.
Yeah.
So you have to accommodate. You have to make the tailor-made suit for this car for it to work.
Yeah.
Because if not, it's not a cookie cutter design. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah. That's what everybody thinks. Yeah, that's what everybody thinks.
It's like, oh, it's a kit. You just slap it on, everything's golden. It's like, no.
And what kills me the most is these guys on YouTube doing it out of their garage.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying you can't get quality work out of a guy from out of his garage. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that if you're going to be taken serious,
absolutely,
there's certain things that you need to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like everything. I mean, everybody has a launch point. For me, I got lucky enough that my brother already had a business. So I was able to come in to a shop, but I had to polish my skills in a garage, in my car, in my wife's car, stuff like that, where I couldn't just offer it to a customer and be like, oh yeah, I'm the best, because I wasn't. I had to learn to be better and better and better. And eventually I was taken under someone's wing and said, hey, I'll teach you the rest. Come on over, you know? So it's a work of art. It is, you know, Picasso didn't start off selling $1 million paintings the day he started painting. You know, he had to be someone's apprentice. And that's how this works, you know, this how this industry works. You have to be picked up by someone that sees your potential and sees that you're willing to invest your time and effort into learning this trade, because that's what it is. It's a trade.
It's a learning process.
Always. Materials are always changing. They're always evolving. You got to keep up with them, because the moment you don't, the moment you say, oh, I only work with this material, well, shoot, then they discontinue it, and then what happens?
Then what do you have?
You got nothing. You gotta. Bruce Lee said it best. You gotta be like water, be able to conform to whatever your surrounding is.
That's right.
That's how this industry is. It's still a baby industry, even though it's been around for 20 years. Most industries after 20 years, they're like locked and loaded. This is what it is. This one's forever changing. Because as long as the cars keep changing, the material has to keep changing with them. So, there is basics that you can learn, but at the end of the day, you have to be fluid. You have to be able to always adjust to the different materials, the different cars. And it's not like they give us a manual that says, but this is how you take a 2021, car apart.
Yeah.
You got to keep learning. You got to.
So you learn as you go.
You're learning as you go, and you got to make sure that, hey, you break a piece, you relay that to the customer. Hey, I broke this handle because I didn't know how to take it off, but I bought you a new one. Not I rigged it into working.
Yeah.
No, you got to be responsible because people are giving you their baby. Most people's cars, that's a huge investment for them.
Yeah, it's sacred, sacred to them.
You gotta be able to. They have to be able to trust that you're gonna treat their car with the same level of respect that they have for that car.
Yeah.
So it's it's definitely a trust and be trusted kind of industry.
Yes, it is. It is.
It is what it is.
It is. Even for the customer or the person doing the work. It's all about trust, man. So what would you say would be the hardest or the most difficult part to do as far as rapping? What have you come across is your most difficult points?
The prep. The prep is always the most difficult because no matter how much you prep the vehicle, there's always something you miss. So you always have to be ready to readdress it every time. You're always stepping away and prepping the car again.
Say, okay, I got to do this now.
You got to clean it again. Always cleaning it. There's guys that are like, oh, I only cleaned it once. It's like, no, because then you step away from it. You don't know. Your shop might be, immaculate, super clean, but
and you still gonna find them little particles.
And that's another thing. You know what I mean? This isn't. You're not doing it in a paint booth. And even if you were doing it in the paint booth, where it's getting, fresh air and everything, there's still circulation in the air. So
so you're still gonna come in contact with it.
Exactly. Like some of those guys, I mean, if you wanted a paint job, and that's another thing, we'll have in this industry, it's not a paint job. It's a big sticker. So you have to understand that there's a difference between wrap and getting it painted. Some customers want to come in and they have this unrealistic expectation that it's going to look like paint, and it's not, because we're emulating paint. We're just trying to make it look like it without
it looking like exactly,
which is one of the biggest advantages of wrap, because even if a vehicle goes into a paint shop, say you take it into a body shop, they have to register that your car went in and it got custom paint, because now it's not factory paint. So it has to be registered with DMV. Most of the time, most people that get that done, it's either an insurance policy and the body shop takes care of it. But with wrap, we don't have that liability because the car is still the color that it is underneath. So we don't have to go to DMV. We don't have
and
to
do
say,
all
hey,
of that.
the car's different. If they pull you over, they might be like, well, your car says it's registered as a black BMW. And it might be fluorescent purple. And you're like, yeah. You open the door, you show them the door jamb, it's still black. I didn't have to take it to DMV to get it registered because the vehicle is still technically black. It's just appearance, whatever color you wrapped it. So it's, there's huge advantages, and then there's some drawbacks. I wouldn't say they're disadvantages, they're just drawbacks. Because it isn't paint, so you can't expect it to be like paint. The material only does so much before it fails. So you have to be able to understand that sometimes you have to put a seam somewhere, but with those seams, the proper placement, and that all falls down to experience. A guy might be like, well, I got to do a seam, I'll put it right down the middle of the bonnet. that's not necessarily the best place because everybody's gonna see it.
Yeah.
But if you hide it in a scene where you can't see it,
Yeah.
you play it off.
Or buy another seam and tuck it. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's kind of playing to your advantages and your strengths and your weaknesses as an installer. But again, it all depends on the installer.
Yeah.
Go ahead and lay this bad boy down.
Hey man, this is the first laydown, man. This is the first laydown piece, man.
This might be the deciding factor. Right
Yeah,
here.
this might be the deciding factor, y'all.
And I have had customers come in and I'll be halfway done with a vehicle and they'll be like,
I want something else.
rip it off, let's do another color. I
Damn.
have had that. Big sheet. Big old bed sheet.
It's gonna be the deciding factor, y'all. Do I tell them to strip it off and go with the alligator black print?
Let's just
Do I tell them to strip it off and go with the alligator black print? Let's check out how it look first, man. Let's check out how it look first, man.
that's right.
I like this side, I ain't gonna lie. That side look good. I am not gonna lie already.
What we're thinking, what are we thinking?
I think it look good, man. I'm liking this side, man. That smoothness, man.
The key right there.
So why do you use that, Caesar?
The squeegee?
Yeah. What's
So this
that
is a
for?
felt squeegee from our good friends over here at Lincourt. But they basically it just lays out. We're gonna get out all these little bubbles that are in there right now. It just lays it out nice and flat. We can move all those air bubbles into the corner and they'll escape without leaving any bubbles left behind.
Okay.
Perfect tool.
Okay. So would you say that that's a must if you
Oh, it is a
if you're doing this?
tool right here. Yeah. Yeah. Besides the best squeegee in the world,
Yeah.
man, this is the next best thing right here. There's no better squeegee than your fingers, your hand. Sometimes I get guys that'll go like to some of the shows. They're like, "Hey, what's the best squeegee you use?" And I'll just be like, "This one." It's like, "Oh, what brand?" Self. You know, it's just
Yeah,
you
man.
can feel it. You know, you
It
can
look
feel the
good,
material.
man.
It's, you know, I'll get some guys that'll be like, "Oh, what material do you like the best?" The one that I can work with.
That's it.
You know, it's like there's no better material than others. They just have better qualities than others.
Exactly.
But they all work. They're all good. A good installer doesn't have. They might have a preference, but they won't tell you, "Oh, I will only use this."
Yeah.
'Cause you should be able to use them all. You just got to give each material their own respect. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
You know, if you can give the material its own respect, you can use all of them. There is no, you know, more worthy than the others. I learned on super cheap film that most people wouldn't even touch today. I probably wouldn't touch it today, but that's what I learned on. And now I use really high premium film.
What do you
And I look back
mean?
And I'm like, yeah.
Can you tell me the difference in between? You said you use what? You used what at first?
So I use really crappy film, like real cast, like calendar film. It's basically a big old ball. It's like a big old snot ball, and they roll it into a flat sheet, and it loves to shrink. That's what I started using. I probably would never use it again.
Why is that?
It's a really tough film to use. Now, you know, I use cast, which is a big liquid, and so it has no memory. I mean, it has minimal memory,
Mm-hmm.
and it conforms that much easier. It takes a curve way better. It'll just look. It has better qualities. So, you know, but we all start with whatever's available.
Yeah.
Back then, calendar was more available. Cast was kind of barely coming into the picture. So it's just, you know, you use what you got and you get better with it. And then when you get, you know, it's kind of like, you know, when you grow up and you got that like brand new hand-me-down car from
Yeah.
your sister or brother or whatever, and they're like, well, this is what you're gonna learn to drive in. And
Yeah.
then you sit in a Benz and you're like, way different. You know what I mean? It's driving a, you know, a Ford Fiesta is not the same as driving a Beamer, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
You know?
Yeah,
They
100%
both
right.
have four wheels and an engine, but the performance is different,
Big
you know?
difference.
There's a
Big
reason
difference.
why it's worth what it is, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing with the materials. You could use high quality film and not know how to use it and it look like crap, or you can use crappy film and make it look like a $10,000 wrap job, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It just depends on how you're able to, what your skill level is. I see
Exactly.
dudes right now that are You know, like down in Brazil, they use calendar film, which is, you know, it's a lot cheaper.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard that was terrible to use.
It is. It is. So, you know, but that's all they have to use, and they make, you know, they make Ferraris look great, but those guys have the skill set to use that. You know, that's sometimes you gotta make lemonade with the lemons that fall down. You know.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's they've learned to master that film, make it work for them. And then you got guys that come up and they're like, oh, you know, that stuff, you should never put that on the car. It's like, well, they do. So
Yeah.
obviously it works. You know, it's just always keeping an open mind. Like I said, with this film industry, always forever changing.
Yeah.
We just gotta roll with the punches.
That's right, man. Caesar, is there a certain like stroking technique that you use or that you've learned over the years that works for you, or have you picked up your style of of doing it from anybody else?
Just, and again, it kind of boils down to what you're comfortable with. You know, yeah, there is like the standard, you know, 30-degree left to right kind of swipe, but some cars, they just don't allow that, you know? So you have to, again, be fluid and kind of do what the car kind of guides you to do. It's almost like you're creating this conversation with the vehicle, and it's kind of telling you, this is how I like it, you know? This is how I need you to do it, so that everything kind of works out and smooths out in a particular way. I mean, you can battle it. You can battle the car the whole day and struggle, or you can just kind of let it talk to you and kind of guide you on how you want it to sound, you know, how you want it to go. You know, trying the standard technique, I think, is my go-to. But then if I see like, oh man, this is taking too long, you gotta stop, reassess, and readjust to the vehicle. Some of them, they just seem straightforward.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, it's just gonna be quick strokes and bam, and then you end up battling the car the whole way, you know? So you have to be fluid. I think that's like the biggest thing when it comes down to rapping, is you gotta be fluid with the vehicles and kind of let them tell you what they want.
Hey y'all see this bus, man? Caesar did this bus in a week. He don't be up here playing, man. And got a fleet full of buses waiting to get done right now, man. This dude don't do no playing, man. Man, I'm already starting to love it, man. I'm already starting to love it, man.
It's gonna look sick, for sure.
So Caesar, after somebody gets something done, something like this done,
Yeah.
what products would you recommend them to use, or would you recommend for them to go to a self-wash, or?
No, absolutely no self-wash. So
Why not on the self-wash?
because essentially, just think about it like this. Say you go to like a rapid wash or whatever. Those guys don't know what car you have. And a lot of detailers will tell you the same thing. I'm not a detailer myself, but I share in their pain, because the speed wash industry, they put the most aggressive soap on the market, basically so that when you run through it one time, it's gonna try to degrease it as fast as possible, rinse it down with super high pressure, and basically get you on your way back on the street. That's their main motto of any speed wash, is just in and out as fast as we can, blow you out, got out. See you next week.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if the guy in front of you, or you will know once you're behind him and you're locked in and you already paid. It might be a freaking farm truck, rocks all in it. Well, guess what those spinners are gonna do? Eventually, one of those rocks is gonna get caught in those spinners.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is gonna happen to your car when it's spinning? There goes your sides.
Wow.
You know, or your hood, or your roof. It's gonna get beat up. You know, Rapid Car Wash is gonna be like, my bad.
It ain't their fault. Yeah. Bye.
See you next week. That's all they're gonna say. You know, so it's one of those things. Yeah, you can get down and argue and be like, hey, but it wasn't scratched, blah blah blah. Depending, they might do something about it. Maybe they won't. They'll just be like, hey, well, my bad.
Yeah.
So, automatic car wash, high pressure. Most of the time they use hot water. If they use hot water, again, it's a sticker. Hot water and acrylic adhesive doesn't really mix. So, and then the soap being a petroleum product, putting more petroleum product is gonna make it dehydrate faster. So, they're not made to be they're not made for wrap vehicles. So what you wanna do is utilize the abilities that the wrap has, which is anaphobic properties, similar to a ceramic coat or whatever, so that you can just wipe it down. The dust
Spray it and wipe it down. Or
spray it and wipe it down. That's why most of the aftercare products that are in the market, most of them are detailers, so where you can mist it, wipe it down, you're back on the road.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, black is one of those colors that just loves to attract dust. Regardless if it's satin, matte, or gloss finish.
Period.
It just loves dust. So, you know, it's always a high maintenance color, but it does look sexy. So, you know, it's one of those drawbacks that you have to be up with it. Other than that, you know, I recommend, if you're gonna wash it at home, baby soap and water. Baby soap is a neutral pH, so it's not gonna add on any kind of parabens or whatever onto the material. Low in VOC, so it's not gonna mess with the acrylic adhesive underneath. And you can just hose it down. Really, all it needs is a limp hose and a good towel. You can just wipe it down. Aftercare should be that easy. Now, convenience-wise, a lot of people are like, yeah, but I don't have time to go outside and hose it down. You can take it through the car wash.
But
then you run the risk.
You pay for it.
A lot of wrap films will tell you right off the bat, it will void your warranty. So, you know, convenience over longevity.
I'd have to go with longevity.
They go hand in hand, whether or not, you know, if you plan on getting it wrapped every 2-3 years or whatever, yeah, by all means, take it to the car wash. That's about as long as it's gonna last you. And you'll be ready to remove it and reinstall a new film. Now, if you're looking for a long haul or utilizing the actual lifespan of the film, then invest a little bit of time, you know, every other day or once a week.
Just wiping it off.
Wiping it down, washing it, you know, hosing it down. If you're gonna take it on a wash, on a drive, hose the bad boy down. It'll be good to go. So you don't even really have to dry it. It'll dry on the way.
That's right.
So